Hello, and welcome to today's episode. The Bible is referred to as the living Word of God. It isn't a book that is meant simply to be read. It is a perspective-altering substance that is meant to be ingested and absorbed into you. And when it becomes a part of you, it changes you. And that is exactly what it is meant to do. A psalm is a spiritual song based on a profound foundational insight that is expressed in the form of music, which is usually played on a harp. This is my own paraphrase of the Psalms. Now, there is an important difference between a paraphrase and a translation, and it is important to understand what that difference is. A translation takes a text word by word, and it finds the most accurate word in another language to convey the meaning of that original word. But sometimes getting the details right can come at the expense of the big picture. For example, the literal translation for a butt dial and the literal translation for a booty call could end up being exactly the same if they were both translated very literally into another language. But we all know that those are two very different ideas. A paraphrase, on the other hand, is attempting to capture the spirit of the idea that is being expressed. But both approaches come with their own disadvantages. Sometimes the most literal translation for each word, while technically accurate, loses something in its translation. For example, if you were to translate the phrase, "cat got your tongue," into another language, it would make no sense to them. Why would a cat grab your tongue? What are you even talking about? In order to convey the original idea, you would have to find out which saying is used in that other language to express the same concept. But it might not involve a cat, or even any animal at all. So the literal translation would not be a very accurate one. But in a case like the one that I just described, the idea is more important than sticking to a very literal translation that loses all of its intended meaning. However, because paraphrases are an individual's interpretation of the underlying idea, instead of a rigorous academic translation of the word, they are not as objectively accurate as a translation is. A paraphrase is a lot more subjective, and that makes it much more susceptible to interpretations that are way off the mark of the original text's intent. The focus of a translation is on detailed accuracy, and sometimes the broader picture is not conveyed very clearly as a result. The focus of a paraphrase is on painting that big picture, but it often loses the accuracy of the finer details. Both are useful as long as you understand which is which, and what the disadvantages to each approach are. And that is why I recommend using both an accurate translation, like the New American Standard, and a responsible paraphrase. Psalm 22, Part C, verses 22 through 31. I will broadcast the wondrous legacy of who you are to each of my brothers. I will sing your praises in the middle of public gatherings. Let all those who honor and respect the Most High celebrate him with me. Let everyone who descends from Jacob glorify him. Stand in awe of him if you come from his chosen people, Israel. For he has never looked away from the suffering of those who are afflicted, or looked down on them when they were at their lowest. He has never shielded himself from seeing any of it. He was right there listening whenever any of them cried out to him for help. He always heard every word that they spoke. So when I sing out your praises as I stand in the middle of huge crowds of people, the life that they see overflowing out of me is born with you. And in front of those who also follow in his footsteps, I will live out the commitments that I have made. In this version of life, those who are in need will be nourished and satisfied. Those who search earnestly for the Most High will overflow with gratitude as their heart is filled beyond its capacity with life forever. Every end of the earth will come alive, remembering the truths that they once knew. And as realization dawns, they will pivot back towards the Most High with a speed that is born out of joy. Each of the different clans among the nations will draw near to you in awe. All of the families of the earth will revel in the glories of your presence. For authority has always belonged to the Most High, and nations exist under the protection of his domain. They will each eat their fill as they celebrate his wonders, from those who have prospered and grown fat off of the bounty of this world, to those who were left low in its dust. They will all fall to their knees before him. Even the person who is too lost to successfully sustain the life that was originally present in his soul. All the generations will pursue the fulfillment that is found through devotion to the Most High. And they will pass on his legacy to the future that is still on its way. Each generation that arrives will add their own testimony of having experienced his divine merit and goodness. The little children who have not been conceived yet will inherit these records, testifying that the Most High has always lived up to every promise of his reputation. He has done it. I pray that whatever voice God might choose to give me in this world, he would also give me the words that I should use it for. These words have meaning for me, and if they had some meaning for you as well, then I am truly grateful that we have both been given a gift from above and from each other. Have a good day out there, my friends.